Hey folks, welcome to another edition of Posi-TIPS with Rachelle. Folks, it is exciting to be here with you again here on another Posi-TIPS episode, folks. So last week, I kicked off the episode. We're talking about the importance of decisions versus resolutions. People make tons of New Year's resolutions every year, and within days, weeks, or months, they've fallen by the wayside. And so I implored you last week to instead choose to make decisions that are backed by positive, action-based steps that are going to get you to that destination in terms of whatever it is that you've decided. I want to do this. I want to have this. I want to have this level of fitness. All right, and so when you make a serious decision and you put those action steps and those markers of accountability behind them, folks, you can be unstoppable. And folks, I want to kick off a new series here today on the seasons of life. The seasons of life. So when we talk about change, we talk about making decisions, we talk about making resolutions, people who make resolutions. And I told you last time, years ago, I used to be one of those people making resolutions too. But I just learned that decisions, action-based decisions are truly or what can carry over the threshold in terms of being lasting and impactful, yada, yada, yada. And so, I also do episodes on Fitness Friday. And so one thing certainly as regard to my fitness is when in 1994, I made a decision. So in May 17, 1994, I'll be celebrating my 27th year of fitness. All right, but I had to make a decision then. So how important is this fitness thing to me? How important is it? Am I going to be faithful to this? That was a decision. And so that's why almost 27 years later, I'm still here. It wasn't a resolution. That was a decision. So almost 27 years later, I'm still going strong, remaining highly committed to that decision. And so, but when you think about the seasons, and so what often prompts change in our life is a change of seasons. And so we know that, yes, planet Earth, just to utilize Michigan here as an example, we have 4 seasons, of the year. When I lived in Miami, it was, we had a good weather, warmer weather, certainly for most of the year. I mean, in January, it was super nice. I mean, I'll never forget that when I was there getting my first graduate degree. And just the weather in January and February was just man, woo, this is cool. I mean, not cool in terms of weather, it's cool just in terms of the ability to just be walking around with t-shirts on in January, which is something that was just certainly very exciting to me at the time. Whereas here in Michigan, we have 4 seasons, all right? So we have long winters, and I love Michigan, and I've been here certainly for a long time. But we have 4 strong seasons, particularly those of us, that are north of the Mason-Dixon line. We can have some strong 4 seasons, particularly the winter season. And so we've got all different seasons here throughout the year, but we also have seasons of our lives. And so I wanted to piece together, perhaps and this is only, this particular seasons of life concept is only something, folks, I've grasped here in the last few years. And so when we think about change in our lives and what prompts us to change, it is typically we're entering or leaving a previous season and entering a new season. And so what is indicative of new seasons of life? Just changes such as, you may get a new job. You may move to another town. In my instance, I just joined another gym, the Edge Fitness Clubs at Farmington Hills, Michigan. And so different changes, someone may have a baby, someone may get married, someone may get promoted. Someone may unfortunately lose a job, or there may be a season of bereavement where a friend or family member has passed away. So all of these type of scenarios and a gazillion more, I mean, there's just innumerable types of changes that can certainly happen on an individual basis. And so, but these type of changes happen in our lives. I mean, sometimes we are the one that take the onus, the initiative in terms of precipitating change in our lives, but other times the changes can be thrust upon us. And so when we think about the overall impact of the coronavirus pandemic and this season that we are the season of life that we are all dealing with this coronavirus pandemic, and how this has been a season that has challenged people, that it's just, caused people to it's just been challenging. I mean, it's just been a very challenging season for a lot of people, and that's why you will always hear me say adversity, 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 adversity. It develops us, it tests our character, makes us better people if we will allow it. Because this season, this prolonged season of, in many different cases, a lack of control, a lack of knowing, this uncertainty, this persistent uncertainty where we don't know when it will end, we don't know this, we don't know this, there's just a lot of unknown variables at this particular time. But in those seasons, that's when we grow. We learn to trust. We learn to do what we can to make a situation better. And we learn to just, after that, trust. Just trust. And know that everything will be okay. We will make it through this. I said this in a number of episodes last year on Fitness Friday, Non-Fitness Friday. Folks, we are still here. We are still making it. We are still progressing. And if we allow this season of our lives to do so, we will grow. And I know on a personal level, 2020 was a great year of growth for me. In terms of just growth and compassion and understanding and humility. And I'm a naturally highly right-brain creative person, but even I was forced to really do things, to pivot, do things creatively that perhaps I would have never done before, would have never thought to even do before, such as Rachelle's home fitness center downstairs in my garage. For all those years, so from May of 1994 until it first happened on Saturday, March 21st of 2020, had never worked out at home before, ever. And to move to different states and all that in those time frames, but never. All right, and that is now I have a hybrid fitness model where, yes, I join the Edge Fitness Clubs, but I'm also going to be splitting time at Rachelle's home fitness center. So I would have never thought to do that. But what I've learned and what that process taught me and what the coronavirus taught me is that Rachelle's home fitness center is and will always be, moving forward, my insurance policy on fitness, for fitness. Because I know that regardless of what is happening in the world, what's going on, whatever, yada, 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 Rachelle's home fitness center is always open, 24/7. All right, no excuses. And so that was a lesson. I would have never learned that. I would have never learned that with home-based type of workouts like that. And so, but we have to be open. We have to be open. But recognize that, yes, this is a challenging season, but this season too will end. We just don't know when, but it will end. Just like when winter ends and then it's time for spring. And for those of us in northern climates, we know what a pronounced difference that is. We're like, yay! And when May gets here, depending on sometimes the first couple of weeks of May, you may still be wearing a jacket, but then when those warmer months come and just such a short season here, in this type of climate where you have short summers, and then a beautiful fall comes along, and so seasons change, and so we have to recognize that. Someone may be starting a new job and they're thinking, oh my gosh, do I have what it takes? I'm afraid. What if I fail? But just recognize, that individual needs to say, hey, I'm new on this job. I have what it takes. Won't be new in this position forever. Someone who moves or relocates to a new area, you won't be new forever. So just recognize whether it's a change that was precipitated by you or a change that was thrust upon you. All right, it's a season. It will be a season. Ecclesiastes chapter 3, that's often quoted in secular and certainly non-secular situations. It's just for the concept. It says, to everything there is a season. To everything there is a season. So just recognize if you're in a situation in your life, particularly if you're unhappy, if you're miserable, if you're full of dread, and you've got to ask yourself, what is going on in this season? Am I in a job that is no longer, consistent with my values and my skill sets and just where I want to be and what I want to be doing right now? Have I really been for the paycheck, for the sake of the paycheck? And don't get me wrong, paycheck's a wonderful thing. I want to be responsible, I want to pay bills, all of that. It's a wonderful thing. But if I've been, a person may be thinking right now, have I been spending the last 15 years living in perpetual unhappiness professionally for that paycheck? Is it time for a change? Is it time for a new season? Is it time for a new season for me to embrace where my true purpose and passion are professionally? Is that something I need to be thinking about doing? Relationally? Okay, is there miserable, unhappy, full of dread? Is there something somebody needs to ask themselves? Is there something I need to be doing in this situation? Can this be fixed? Can we, go to counseling? Is there something, I can do on my own? We work together as a couple. What can we do to overcome this? Are we committed to overcoming this? If not, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? All right. So, because the seasons of life, but particularly when you're miserable and full of dread and unhappiness, you got to ask yourself, is the season for this over? Is the season for this over? I mean, and this happens even in friendships, where we have to ask ourselves, have I outgrown this friendship? Is this friendship, am I hanging on to this friendship for obligatory reasons? Do we have anything in common other than our shared history? Is it miserable? Do you not really look forward to seeing the friend anymore? And folks, this season concept, and yes, we want to be loyal. We don't want to just dump people for no reason, but we've got to listen to ourselves. We've got to listen to our intuitions. We've got to listen and really observe and pay attention to our reactions. In terms of, if you're meeting up with a friend for lunch and you're just like, oh, I just dread seeing him or her. Why? What is the behavior that this person is demonstrating? It's just because you've known this person since you were in third grade and you have nothing in common and you dread it and there's just nothing there anymore, but just for obligation, you just feel obligated. Hey, known this person forever, so I'm going to keep this charade going. Okay, and you absolutely dread seeing the person and you resent it afterwards. I just wasted another hour of my life that I can't get back, yada, yada, yada. What is the key issue? Has the season changed? We talked about last year and the year before, kicked off the year talking about, change, courage for change, process of change. So particularly when you're precipitating the change, it won't be easy. It won't be easy often because, you got feelings, you got memories, you got this and that. But folks, you deserve to be happy. You deserve to be happy. And part of happiness in life, and that's why I'm saying over the last few years, I just recognize the seasonality of things. The seasonality of things. We learn, we grow, we evolve. You may have grown up in one particular area and it was great growing up and there was no better place to live. But now you look around and you think, why am I here? This is not working for me anymore. The season has changed. You've outgrown that season. You've outgrown that location. So it's time to honor that and move on to another location that will suit you, that perhaps will have, whatever it is that you're looking for, whatever that aligns with your values, folks. So I wanted to kick off this episode by just highlighting the importance of seasons, or honoring seasons and recognizing seasons, because yes, seasons come and seasons go, and there's no exception to this. The seasonality aspect of life, we all, and this is something that impacts us all. So I wanted to kick this year off by really discussing the seasons of life, because it's such an important concept, and I want you to get some revelations on it, just like I did here a few years ago, and I continue to learn more and more each and every year about this concept of the seasons of life. So just wanted to share a few of those thoughts with you. And so stay tuned for more next week. But until then, remember, I am positively passionate about your happiness and success. Make it a great day.